So, coming from TechCrunch, Anthropic says Claude may want to see your ID. So that's right, we are getting into this phase of the AI stupidity of where it is so powerful, you're going to have to start linking your government-issued ID with the accounts that you're creating for the different AI services. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to go wonderfully for their trillions of dollars of valuation. So basically what Anthropic is doing right now is they put into their terms of service a little while ago, I guess it's going into effect in July 8th, the idea that certain people at certain times will have to prove that they're supposedly who they are by providing a government ID that can be attached to their account going forward so that Claude knows that they're real people. I look at this and I see all of the pushback with artificial intelligence. I see the abject lack of trust in these horrible people that most of the citizenry have. And I do question how many people actually are going to want to hand over their government ID, right? When you can spin up Olama or something like that on your own machine in order to get AI access, quote unquote AI access, and the reality that most of this AI isn't actually that valuable to begin with. If you put a new barrier to entry to artificial intelligence, how much will that restrict the interest in artificial intelligence? Like one of the big numbers we hear from OpenAI is that they were the fastest app to grow ever, right? That's one of their big things. They got to 100 million users faster than any other app in history. Well, the reality is most other apps in history, there's some more pain points to it. There's some more barriers of entry, right? So like with Facebook, if you go to Facebook or if you go to any social network site and you simply create an account, it's basically worthless, right? Ooh, you create an account on Facebook. But if you don't have any friends on Facebook and don't really know how to use Facebook, it's basically worthless, right? So that's one of the things. Like if you look at Facebook, if you look at Twitter, if you look at these other platforms over the years, there was barriers to entry where, oh, you're on Facebook, I'll now get on Facebook. Once I'm on Facebook, how the hell do I use this thing? And you help each other out. The interesting thing with OpenAI, right, is that it was a system, it was a platform where you didn't need anything from the outside world, right? I could sit down, I could go to a prompt, I could type whatever my query is into the prompt, and AI would immediately return a response, right? So basically there is no barrier to entry there. There's no paywall. There's no paywall because people don't want to pay for this shit, right? So there's no paywall. You don't need anybody else to be able to interact with the system. It's a relatively simple system to use. Again, it's just prompts or whatever else. And it's all exciting because it's artificial intelligence, right? And so that's one of the things that really drove adoption of OpenAI originally. And that's one of the things they tout. We're growing so fast. Again, if you caveat why they grew so fast, it makes a lot more sense. What becomes interesting now with Anthropic, and we're going to start to see this with more of these AI companies, is as they start putting more barriers, as they start putting more walls up, I think there's going to be more and more of a question about how much does anybody want to deal with this crap, right? One of the things to think about whenever you're creating a startup company or a business is one of the most painful things is even if you paid somebody, would they use your product, right? There's this whole thing, there's this whole Shark Tank model, right? The total addressable market is $28 trillion. And if I get 1% of $28 trillion, that's a gazillion dollars, right? That's the whole idea. Here's the reality. Create your product, create your service. Here's a question. If you paid somebody $5 to use your product or service, would they actually use your product or service? What you'll find many times is nobody even wants to pay money. Nobody even wants to be paid to use your product or service. And then you get to free. If this is free, Will anybody actually want it? And then the thing is it $1? Is it $2? Is it $5? Is it $200? The whole 9 yards. So really the first question you have to ask is, if I gave this product away for free, would anybody use it? And then past that, the question is how much would they actually pay for? One of the things to think about in the modern world, we think about walls. So many times we think about walls as paywalls, but there's different types of currency, right? Basically, a transaction is any time I provide you something and you provide me something. And so one of the types of transactions is things like identification. People know that ID is valuable. People are concerned about their ID. People are concerned about their privacy. And so an interesting question, even for a free service, if I start having to hand over my ID, how much friction does that add? And you think, well, what happens if you lose? And again, like you talk about small numbers. You talk about small numbers. What if you lose 1%? What if you lose 1% of the people that you ask for an ID from? Eli, it's 1%. But again, if your total addressable market is like 8 billion people or whatever the ridiculousness is, 1% becomes a lot, right? If your total addressable market is 100 million people, that means 1 million people are no longer using your product because asking for an ID was a bridge too far, right? If you have 1 billion people, that means 10 million people are like, right? Those numbers become real in a world of insane valuations, right? In a world where they want Anthropic to be worth $1 trillion. They want OpenAI to be worth $1 trillion. I don't know. SpaceX right now is, I don't know what the fuck SpaceX is doing right now, right? But like, you want these insane valuations at the exact same times you start adding barriers to entry for a product that most people frankly find has a questionable value proposition. I wonder how that's going to work out. Anthropic may ask Claude users to verify their age and identity by uploading their government-issued documents, according to a new version of the company's privacy policy. And so this is one of the things with all these companies, right? They have a policy, and then they change a policy because they can. The AI giant says the move was to allow users to appeal having their account flagged for potentially fraudulent activity rather than outright banning them, but comes at a time when Anthropic seeks to placate the Trump administration amid an ongoing standoff over who gets access to the company's AI tools. This is the other interesting thing too, is like fraudulent activity, right? If it's bad activity on the platform, shouldn't it be bad whether they have your government ID or not? I guess maybe the concept here is they think you're creating multiple different accounts to get around their throttling. According to a new section in his latest privacy policy published earlier in June and set to take effect on July 8th, Anthropic says it will ask for a user to prove their age or identity in certain circumstances without providing specific examples. While Anthropic has long required users to be over 18 to use Claude, the company earlier this year introduced age verification checks to comply with various states and countries that require them. Identity checks were also announced but weren't reflected in the company's privacy policy until more recently. When triggered, the policy would require users to upload a photo scan of a government-issued passport or driver's license. Anthropic says it will also collect a person's selfie photo or video and the person's digitized versions as a face geometry template. Anthropic says it will also keep a record of the verification results, such as whether the user has reached a certain age. So basically, all of your queries, all of your information is now going to be able to be tracked back to be indexed to an actual real human account. When reached by TechCrunch, Anthropic spokesperson shared a link to an ex-post from Anthropic's Tariq, saying that the change applies only to a small subset of users whose accounts are flagged but not outright banned. And this always starts by saying things like, oh, this is a small subset of users, and then it grows, and then it grows, and then it grows, and then it grows. So, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be curious to see how all this works out at the end of the day. I think Dario really has screwed himself with this whole constantly saying the sky is falling, constantly saying how dangerous artificial intelligence is. Because basically, if you try to sell this as just a form of entertainment, if you try to sell this as a way to, fake doing term papers or whatever else, then the idea of having age verification and the idea of being identified with your government ID doesn't make a lot of sense. On the other hand, Dario has been out there screaming at, this is the most dangerous thing since the last most dangerous thing, and it's going to destroy the world. Well, the thing is if you're constantly out there screaming about how dangerous your product is, I mean, it shouldn't really be a shock when governments start cracking down and trying to regulate your product more and more. The question with this, though, is you really do come to the point, is this what the users care about? I mean, it is fascinating to me in 2026 how little I care about AI right now. And that's not being snarky, and that's not being mean or whatever else, right? Google shoves AI down my throat every time I make a query. So I use AI daily, but that's because Google is shoving it down my throat. I talk about with code when I do code projects or whatever for my little things. Again, syntax for different languages, where the fuck the comma is supposed to go, right? So anyways, I use Claude or whatever else for helping with some of these coding projects or that type of thing. But what is really fascinating to me is simply the lack of massive value in AI. Right? We're told how this is just going to revolutionize everything, and it really seems like they're just shoving it down our throats. Like I have Apple AI, so I have the latest iPhone Max, whatever, got a number of months ago. But I bought it for the battery. Like literally, I bought the latest iPhone for my battery, just because I needed a better battery. I turned AI off on it. I found AI to be such a pain in the ass on this product. I literally turned AI off. And so like Anthropic is like, Dario is in this weird thing, like, our product is so valuable and our product is so dangerous. So that's why we're going to have users jump through more and more hoops. And I do question how users are going to react. Are you simply going to have more and more users go, yes, that's not really as cool as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be amazing. I thought it was going to be wonderful, but eh. So anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about attaching your government ID to your Anthropic queries? What do you think about this being a small subset of users now? How quickly will that small subset of users grow? And do you think the AI companies have simply fundamentally overplayed their hands? It's a fine technology. It has value. It's just not what they're selling. I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, you want them on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, there's a link down in the description. Also, if you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.